Hello, everybody. Gary Laubach, Mike Joseph. We are behind the mic. Glad you have joined us again, and we are on an upbeat right now as the Leopards come away with a huge 62-24 win over Bucknell. They've won 5 of their last 6 ball games, and I want to talk about Lafayette first because there's so much to talk about when we get to Oregon State. And there's a lot to talk about the Leopards. I don't know whether I can go over all the things they did on Saturday, but 62 points, Mike, the most since 1944. 6 different players score. That's the most since 64. It was really an impressive team effort for sure.
Yeah, it almost looked like they were culminating up to that week. They were playing better and better, especially on special teams. And what they're getting out of special teams is creating opportunities, and now they're getting turnovers, creating opportunities. You see Jalon Joseph coming on. That secondary's playing much better. And again, when your defense can contribute and give you short fields, that's what's happening. So Lafayette is taking advantage of that. They're scoring points, and you're looking at the hottest I've ever seen Dean DeNoble in his career here.
Interested in whether you felt like I felt. I felt there was a different kind of intensity that I have not seen. I mean, not to say that they haven't been intense, but this was a different kind of intensity on Saturday.
Yeah, I think so too. And I told you, Bucknell always kind of breeds some nastiness in me for some reason. And when you go down, you went out there last year and you lost that ball game, which took you out of it. A little bit of payback right there. And Lafayette wanted to show them that they had better personnel, they had better coaching, they had a better team. I just thought they put it all together. So there was a little bit of an edge or a chip on Lafayette's shoulder. And I think they did it, and they showed it from that offensive line. And obviously the time that Dean DeNoble had to spread the football around. And when you get enough out of Elijah Stewart, Lafayette wins.
Well, how much did they put it together? Well, 670 yards of offense. That's a record. 322 yards passing, 348 rushing. That's the most rushing yardage in a game since 1964. 3 rushing touchdowns over 67 or more yards. Dean DeNoble with another great game, 8 different receivers, 4 different touchdown receivers. He's number 2 now in percentage career completions, number 4 in career completions. Unbelievable numbers for him. Eli has a couple of touchdown catches. Jakiri has 1. Matt Skirbo has 1. Ethan Hozak has 1. If you're a receiver on this team, it's so nice to know that you're going to get involved somehow.
Yeah, and if you're getting recruited as a receiver, this is where you want to come because you know you're going to get the football. And Lafayette did it. Think about it. They did it with what we think is Lafayette's most explosive running back without Kente Edwards. But they did it with Ethan Weber, who showed some explosiveness. So I got to stop talking about how Ethan's not a takeoff guy, a guy that can get in a home run hitter, because he was amazing. I thought it was great. And then Jakiri Henley, which adds that little bit. Remember, he started out as a wide route, brought him in as a running back. He brings a lot of speed. Dean gets rid of the ball so quickly. And the offensive line, you know, when you only have to block for 1.5, 2 on the RPO, it's different. So I thought they did a great job. And you know, we probably don't talk enough about Carson Perzing. We don't talk about Mason Keener enough. And you don't talk about Hozak. But they open up everything else for Elijah Stewart. And again, this offense is hitting on all cylinders right now, and they're going to take it to the West Coast.
And I can't remember. I tried to go back, but this might be a record that's not there or whatever. But we were within. If Penza has 4 more yards, we have 3 100-yard rushers. Does that ever happen? I can't remember that ever happening.
No, it doesn't. And I was so happy to see Penza get off and make that great run. And you saw that explosive speed that he has. That's amazing. And Lafayette was built on running. You go back years and years into the Frank Devani years, the Bill Russo years. It's built on controlling the line of scrimmage. So we did it on both ends. When you can run for 360 and then have the ability to spread it around like Dean did, I mean, I think it's the exact formula that John Troxell and Kevin Bauman, that offensive line coach, give him a lot of credit. They were fantastic. Ryan Roeder as the wide receivers. I mean, all the coaches are doing a great job of adding and adding more things to the game plan, and it's helping in all different facets. That special teams is good.
Yeah, the offensive line normally doesn't get so much publicity, but boy, this one deserves it. They are outstanding. I can't remember in all the years we've been doing games a better offensive line. Jalon Joseph, Beckham D, they lead the defense. The defense has been excellent. Christian Bush has been excellent kicking the football. You know, we talk a lot about complementary football. It can't get any better than what was shown on Saturday.
No, it can't. And it's starting with that defensive line. They're stopping the run. Remember, they're holding opponents, especially in the Patriot League, to under 97 yards a game. When you do that, you force a team to be one-dimensional. And when you do that, you turn loose Jalon Joseph. You turn loose Michael Vaughn. You turn loose guys like Chamberlain. These guys that can get after the quarterback, that's what they're licking their chops and putting their ears back for. Now, all of a sudden, Kevin Doder's got his hands on balls. You see Gadsden playing so well. You see Davis playing well in the secondary. I think they're having a good year, but it starts again with that O-line. If you can control that line of scrimmage, get after the quarterback, the ball's up for grabs.
That's right. They make them hurry, and this past week, it was a new quarterback for Bucknell. Ralph Rucker did not play, and you made him a little nervous. They got to him a little quicker than probably he wanted. Again, before we look at Oregon State, let's take a look at where Lafayette is right now. They're in first place in the Patriot League. They're at 3-0. Nobody else is. Lehigh is still undefeated at 2-0. Lehigh has a bye week this week, so they will not play a Patriot League ball game. They did beat Columbia 31-7. That's basically the exact same score we beat Columbia by. So things are kind of lining up, hopefully, where that final game, the big game, always every year, the 161st, may be a monumental challenge for both those football teams. All right, Oregon State. This is what I read this week. Bad state of affairs there. Insignificant conference. NIL problems. A departed coach. Few fans. Morale is at its lowest. That does not sound like, but we still have to remember they're FBS, not FCS.
Yeah, they've got some players, and they've got players with pride. So when they read that stuff in the paper, if that was me reading that about myself, I'd be very upset. I'd be coming out just trying to show off my talents and make sure everybody understands that I'm here to play. Whether it be on the O-line, the quarterback, they have talent out there. They just ran into a lull. Remember, they lost the game by, I think, 5 or 6 points, and then they come back and lose to App State. You're not supposed to lose to App State if you're Oregon State. So all of a sudden, everything started to compile, and everything was the coach's fault, and everything was on management and this and that. And so it's a tough situation. When things start to snowball like that, all of a sudden the players have to have an internal meeting. They have to get up for games, and I think you'll see that out of them this week. Again, for Lafayette, it's an opportunity. That's all you ask for, and that's all John Troxell talks about is give our kids an opportunity. You come to Lafayette to play a game like Duke, to play Oregon State, to go out and play these bigger teams that John's put on the schedule. So it's a great opportunity for us. For them, I think they're going to be up and ready, and we'll see it. I'm going to be there in person.
And they have a new head coach, much like what happened to Penn State this past week. Their head coach, Trent Bray, after 2 seasons, not even 2 full seasons, he got fired, and he's done, and they went to Rob Akey, one of their interim assistant coaches, as the new head coach for the Beavers, but they are 0-7, and they're looking for their first win. How talented are they? Well, they score 17.7 points a game, but they give up 36 points a game. So defense obviously has been problematic. Malik Murphy is their quarterback. If you want somebody that looks like a great quarterback, he's 6'5", 234. He's a redshirt junior. He's thrown for over 1,600 yards. He started at Duke last year. He played a season at Texas. That's a pretty darn good resume.
Well, he's a player that can get it done. You know that. They didn't bring him there for no reason at all. If you let him stand in the pocket, he's going to pick you apart. If you give him time. So that, again, is the key. All these games are about up front. Are they going to be able to control the line of scrimmage? Can Lafayette get some pressure? Can we kind of change things up on them in the secondary, maybe make them confused a little bit, and then create a turnover early, create some doubt in their mind that here we go again type of thing. And I think Lafayette can do that. For Lafayette, let's play our base football. Let's run our base football. We have 4 big games at the end of the year. Come out of here with nobody hurt, but really show up because this is an opportunity again for Lafayette. So let's show up offensively. Let's play good defense. Let's tackle well like we did against Bowling Green, another FBS opponent. I think Lafayette's got a shot.
And the other good news is bye week next week. So get through this week, stay healthy, maybe win the game, pull what would be considered an upset, and see where we go from there. The running back, Anthony Hankerson, 5'8", 206. He's got 467 yards, 3.6 per carry. Their receivers, David Wells, is also a running back. He leads with 3 touchdowns. Hankerson, interestingly enough, only has a couple of touchdowns so far. The defense, they have 8 sacks, 4 interceptions, but they give up 36 points a game.
Yeah, they do. And again, they're struggling just to stop the run. They need to do a better job of that. And if they want to get healthy, then this is the week to do it. They're facing an FCS opponent. They need to get up and take away the line of scrimmage in that. Again, where I worry most about Lafayette in these type of games, I always talk about it, is special teams. Do your 2s match up against their 1As? Those are the situations. So we need to have a plan, which I think we had a plan against Bowling Green. We just didn't execute it. What are we going to do on punts? What are we going to do on kickoffs? How are we going to get that ball, even if we punt it out of bounds, 40, 50 yards, just out to the corner, pin them in, directional kick defensively on kickoffs, and then, again, not get punts blocked. Remember, Lafayette had a punt block last week against Bucknell. They let somebody come right up the middle, put a lot of pressure on Dylan Aguilar. They can't do that. They've got to be solid on special teams. Go even on special teams. even +1 on special teams, but you can't be negative. Can't give up a touchdown, big yardage, big returns. Those are the thing that seals these games and puts them away.
Yeah, block punt last week and a missed extra point. So those are two areas that, because we haven't had to complain at all, really, about special teams. So there you have it. Mike's headed out to Oregon State. He's going to help out on the sideline, I'm sure, even if it's not asked, I would assume. What's inside the huddle this week?
We're going to talk about personnel grouping. So often we talk about, like from the booth, you and I say, oh, well, there's 23 personnel, 13 personnel. People don't understand what we're talking about. And on the games on Monday nights, you hear, okay, well, they're in 11. Right. So basically what that means is start with the running backs. The first number running back, 2 running backs, 3 tight ends. And then the wide receivers. It always has to add up to 5 eligibles. So if you have 1 tight end and 1 running back, that's 11. You'd have 3 wide receivers. So that number always subtracted by 0. And that tells you that Lafayette has a strategic advantage entering the line of scrimmage, or if they have the ability to change personnel and catch the defense off guard. So again, eligibles, how that works out, personnel.
And he will talk a little slower when he gets inside the huddle. All right, thanks to Will Newsheidel again for helping with a lot amount of information. Thanks to all of you for spending time with us. We're off next week. We'll be back the following week when Lafayette goes back in the Patriot League to take on Holy Cross at Holy Cross. And then we come back home for a big game against Colgate. Thanks for spending time with Mike and myself. For all of us on the Lafayette team, we are Behind the Mic.